Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is Mike Brenner sitting next to me. This is the MLB Odds Couple show for Tuesday, April 12th.
Ooh, month's flying by,
Mike Brenner,
buddy.
you had, let's put the record up from cumulative record. Mike Brenner, you had a winning day yesterday. You had one loser, two winners.
Yeah, and actually I went with the Cubs on the run line, but that wasn't available during the show. I would have been 3-1, but
I went with Aaron Nola and Philly over and said, what a stupid couple.
Well, yeah, no, because if it would have won, it wouldn't have been stupid.
Yeah,
this is early season, Pete. You know it,
and I
buddy.
saw there's one handicapper on Facebook that I really respect, and he was on that one too.
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it takes time. And baseball's baseball, buddy. It's a roller coaster. So
yeah. All right. Well, Mike Brenner, we got 12 games on the card tonight. Do you have anything that you're liking that you've seen?
Yeah, I've got 3 plays.
Three
that I'm
plays.
Put
All right.
out.
Well, I got one, and you know that I'm actually up on totals in baseball.
I believe it.
It's just that with totals like weather and lineups in a lot of places, obviously not with places with indoor, and not on like the West Coast, like in Oakland and places like that. Did you catch my videos that I'm doing with Ian Cameron? I've hit the total in every game. I gave the under in the.
Then start giving them on these.
But I didn't realize it until after this show. It was only until I was like later on that I was
That's
like, oh my
March
God.
Madness wearing off on you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sunny gray, and I said to Ian Cameron, I said, Ian, look into my eyes. Under.
Sunny gray.
Yeah. All right, so we got a bunch of situations. One play that I'm leaning towards, probably won't have the balls to take. I'm not sure what I think about it.
Here we go with that balls again.
Well,
you better get them balls.
It's Pitt at Detroit. Now, we know that Nicasio has had a huge spring and followed it up with a huge first game. Detroit can hit, though.
They can hit,
but
buddy.
every MLB team can hit. But Detroit can really hit.
They can hit.
And Anibal Sanchez, we got kind of screwed by him. He actually did struggle in his last game, but we faded him on the first 5. He threw 5 shutout innings, and then the 6th,
I saw that.
He fell apart. I said in my series previews with Ian Cameron that I was leaning Pitt this whole series, and they're an underdog here. What do you think about that?
Well, I almost pulled the trigger on Pitt, but Detroit, their offense it's starting to get scary. They got other guys cranking it up besides Cabrera. So I'm going to stay off that one. I think Detroit's got some momentum, but it's not a balls thing. It's just I'm just going to wait and see what happens with the rest of this series. Right. Pittsburgh's making noise early. So.
I hear you. And then we got an interesting game. I'd be surprised if this turns into one of your picks, but it's interesting. We got the Yankees in Toronto. Two nice offenses and 2 pitchers who have done great, right?
Absolutely.
Tanaka looking great so far. No injury concerns. And Sanchez, young phenom.
I'm pulling the trigger.
Really?
Pistol, Pete. I'm taking Toronto, buddy.
Wow,
I'm taking Toronto. The Greek had the money line at -118.
-118. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Sanchez, he just really looked good in his opening start.
Yeah. And had a strong spring.
Absolutely. Had a great spring, and conditioning-wise, they said he really showed up in shape. So I like it. I think Toronto's getting ready to unload some bats. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a run line winner, which was paying back like 170. But because it's such a good value at the Greek, I'm just going to pull the trigger on the money line, and I'm going to put a nice little chunk on it.
Okay, money line at +118. All right.
Yeah. No, -118.
Oh, sorry, -118. And then we have an interesting situation with Cleveland at Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
Corey Kluber, Cy Young winner 2 years ago. And, struggled the last year, and this year first start struggled. He struggled on the road last year. Feels like this could be a bounce-back spot for him, but would I want to bet on it?
Should be a bounce-back spot.
Could be.
I know, and I like what Cleveland's doing. Francona's coaching his ass off with them. What's the line on that one?
And that's the problem. It's like if you were getting maybe even money, maybe it'd be tempting, but Cleveland's a pretty healthy road favorite here, ranging from 130 to 135, -130 to -135.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? You going to pull the trigger on that one?
No. It's interesting. I mean, it's just I'm thinking about maybe a shot with the under, except the under is 7.
Ooh,
so it's like, if I was getting 8, I'd pull the trigger, but it's 7. I don't know about that one. I will. Maybe it's time for my pick here.
But you know what? Yeah, Kluber is overdue. He's got to either shit or get off the pot, because that wasn't a fluke a couple years ago.
Or maybe he just doesn't have it now, and he didn't do well. And the other problem is Cleveland won all 4 of their games at Tampa Bay last year as well, so they tend to do well there.
Yeah.
Kluber tends to do poorly on the road.
Tampa Bay's not really lighting anything up right now either.
Right, but they have talent in the roster. Again, it's all about the number,
Yeah.
And as a home dog, I would have to lean Tampa Bay there, though I wouldn't bet.
You know what? I'm going to pull the trigger.
No, Mike Brenner, we were just chatting about the lines here. I'm not trying to.
Well, I'll wait till the end of the show. But
I don't want to talk
because they were on my B list. So.
All right. Well, okay, they were.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, Kluber, and I like what Francona's doing, but hold off. I'm going to probably pull the trigger.
All right. Well, I'll give one pick officially right now, and that's going to be the over in KC Houston. Now, the way Houston goes, weather isn't often that much of a factor in that one.
And a lot of people were all over KC yesterday, and Houston just quietly got it done.
Yeah, well, I'm on the over. It's a relatively low total. It's 8. The best line market-wide is at Pinnacle, plus 102. Medlin's starting for KC. He obviously has a lot of upside, but he had a bad spring.
Yes, he
could
did.
Easily get hit. And then the other side, same deal with Fires. Look,
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Remember
Fires
that.
is the kind of guy who can look great for 3 innings and give up 2 home
Exactly.
runs.
Yeah.
Both these pitchers are decent, and if the total was 9, I wouldn't take it. But at 8, at plus 102,
You gonna pull
I'll
trigger?
take a shot with
All
that
right,
one.
I like
KC
it,
Houston
Pistol
over
Pete.
8 plus 102.
Okay.
All right. Then we have, let's talk about this another, I don't know, these Colorado totals. We have Samardzija.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Samardzija could get crushed here.
He might get banged up in that park. I mean, and he really kind of had a rough outing his first start.
And then Chatwood, nothing special. San Francisco can hit when they go into a hitter's park.
Wow. Yeah.
Over 11 is tempting, isn't it?
I don't know. You're the totals guy, but 11's a hell of a lot of runs. But
it's a hell of a lot of runs. But I mean, you've seen what's happening in Colorado this year.
Samardzija is liable to give up 5 or 6 in one inning. I don't know. I'm staying off of it.
San Diego went to Colorado and put up 50 runs or whatever.
16,
Yeah, that's tempting though.
Well, come on, stick with the totals. Stick with your formula that's banking you money in your account.
The problem,
bring it to
the problem with Colorado is you never exactly know when they're going to mess around with the humidor, and all of a sudden you get like a 3-1 game, and it's like, where did that come from?
Okay.
But that's definitely one I'm thinking about. Then always thinking about going on Washington over Atlanta, except that the Atlanta starter Julius Chassin has been doing well, had a good spring, did well in the minors, pitching well.
They brought him up from AAA, but Gio Gonzalez, the lefty for the Nationals, I like him. I think he's going to come out on an early groove. I'm taking the run line.
Really?
I grabbed it plus 118 Nationals.
Okay, Washington Nationals.
Yeah, I think today they're going to really uncork on the bats, and I think Atlanta's just a total rebuilding team. There's just not a lot of morale there right now, and I think
right
Gonzalez,
now I'm afraid we're going to have to just give you 116.
Well, that's okay. I'll take it.
Anymore.
Hey, anything over,
Pinnacle.
is a bonus anyway. So
Heritage 115, Pinnacle 116.
Yep. That's my second play. Nationals with Gio Gonzalez on the mound, the lefty to get it done on the run line, plus 116.
Then another game that's tempting. I checked the weather, and the wind appears like it was blowing out in Boston last night.
Yeah.
And went over yesterday. And it appears the reports that I've seen are that it's going to be blowing out again tonight. Obviously, that could change. Well, Buchholz had a shaky start.
Ooh, yeah.
Right is nothing special against that lineup. I'm thinking about taking a shot with the over 9.
Yeah,
9.
I kind of like that, Pistol Pete.
What do you think about that?
You know,
the problem is it's dependent on the weather. If I go and see that, like,
I
the
get
weather
him.
has
That's something
changed.
you don't know right now. But Buchholz, he kind of looked rough, and he's been known to get battered around pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean he's also the kind of guy who's like wildly up and down.
Exactly.
So,
too early for me to call, but
all right. Well, you got another.
I've got one other play.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, I'm going with the Angels tonight. I think it's about time they get it done. They're at Oakland. They're an underdog. Money line's paying back plus 105 unless you can see it. Line
We're giving you plus 106, baby.
See,
We're
there we
giving
go.
you
He
plus
saved
106
me
at
that.
Heritage.
I love it. But yeah, Santiago's on the mound. Graveman's going to pitch for Oakland. And I just think today is when the Angels really put it together. I look for Trout to have a big game and Pujols to. He actually stole a base the other day. Pujols did. You believe it? Yeah. But I'm going with the Angels.
Santiago's been pounding the zone. Velocity is up.
That's
like
nice. It. I think he's a good pitcher today, and I think they're actually going to win this thing pretty easily. But the money line plus 106.
All right.
That's
So let's review and do anything we want to say about the Miami and Mets game.
Fernandez, right?
Yeah, Fernandez against Syndergaard.
And
huge
everybody's wondering what's going on with the Mets, but they'll crank it up. I just think David Wright, though, I think he's getting a little older. He's kind of really whiffed on some tight spots when he could have drove some runs in so far. But I think the Mets there's definitely no time to panic. They'll turn it around.
And then let's quickly touch on this guy, just because we have to. This guy, Maeda, for the Dodgers.
I know.
Unbelievable,
Bro,
right?
Where did he come from?
Struck him out and hit a home run in San Diego.
I know it.
I mean, unbelievable.
That's what's going on with L.A. Everybody thought when Mattingly left, Kemp, everything, the team would just fall apart. They're quietly becoming a really good baseball team.
Yeah, and you know what? And Pat Corbin has struggled, shaky in his first start. I mean, obviously he was lights out when he was great. Yeah. What do you think about the Dodgers? It's a hefty line, though.
It is, and they got that injury list that's just profound. Yeah. So I'm staying off of them, but it's interesting to see what they're going to do. How about you? You
I don't know. I mean, Arizona has Goldschmidt, who's awesome, one of the best players in baseball. But after that, it starts to get a little bit dicey. And this guy, Maeda, could he do it again? Why not?
Well, Pistol Pete, you're trying to talk yourself into it, I think. Just pull the trigger. Come on.
All right, I'll pull the trigger on it. It's a fucking huge
go.
line, but I'll take it at the Greek minus 157. Ooh, that's a big line.
That is, but you're in. You're committed. It's over. You got it, buddy.
Fine. So I got 2 picks. Did you review your picks?
I got Toronto on the money line. okay, which is 118. I got the Nationals on the run line plus 116. And I got the Angels on the money line plus 106.
All right, and I'll be on the Dodgers minus 157, and I'm on Houston Casey over 8 plus 102. We touched on almost every game today.
Yes, we did, and I'm looking forward to moving that number up. Yesterday, 2-1, and you're going to get it done today too, Pistol Pete.
Okay.
We're overdue, baby.
Sounds good. We'll be back for the Wednesday show tomorrow.
Great show.